But success and the years weren't kind to one of the property's biggest attractions. Time had taken its toll on the zoo, and by the 1980s, it was in sad shape.
Tautphaus Park Zoo had gone through kind of a rough time. In the late 80s, the Humane Society of the United States came in basically in response to public complaints and made the recommendation that either the city fix the zoo up or shut it down. And at that point in time, the mayor and council decided that the zoo was an asset to the community and made the commitment to making improvements at the zoo. And that's kind of when the Renaissance started. When I came here in 1991, some new facilities had been built, and we just have gone from there. Basically, in the last 19 years, have rebuilt, renovated the entire park. We now have a hospital here at the zoo to treat the animals. We have education programs that cover everything from one-day zoo schools to week-long camps to outreach programs. We've developed one of the largest botanical collections in the state of Idaho, the largest animal collection in the state of Idaho, several successful breeding programs for threatened and endangered species. So the goals were set pretty high when I came here, and over the last several years we've been able to achieve virtually all of them.
But I've always felt that the Tautphaus Park Zoo was well maintained, and it was a highlight of the Tautphaus Park.
We have a lot of high-profile animals here at the zoo, the big cats, the penguins, the giant tortoises. I think it's the mixture of our collection. They get to see a lot of different animals.
A successful park is a living, evolving thing that requires the community to make it and keep it viable and relevant.
The organizations have got behind the ice rink project and enabled to make that happen. For instance, the project we're involved in now is roughly about $1.7 million. The local youth hockey program and the skating community is raising $350,000 to help offset some of those expenses. The Equal Access Playground, which is just north of Funland and the arcade over by shelter number 2, that project was entirely paid for out of donated and funds that the local community gave in order to build that project, and that was in the neighborhood of about $300,000 when it was completed. There's 2 examples of major projects that people have supported financially and with in-kind donation. That playground, for instance, not only did they raise the fund, but all of the volunteers that were involved, we actually had a build day, meaning that all the people that were involved in that playground project came out to the park and on one day basically built and put that playground together. We're proud of having the ability to be a regional type park and a regional draw. And I think that's the way Mr. Tautphaus really designed the park even back in the years that he operated as a private park.
Being relevant and answering the needs of the community has resulted in one of the newest additions to the park. An addition that, from the air, looks like an oversized spa, but from the ground is anything but peaceful or serene.
The mayor and the council commissioned us to go ahead and look at the construction of a new skateboard park. And one of the locations we were looking at for the construction of that facility was Tautphaus Park. And in 2009, we actually completed that project. It's about a little over 10,000 square feet. It's I would say, one of the nicest skate parks in the Northwest.
The community has been incredibly supportive of the zoo. You can't have a successful community or a successful zoo without community support. And every time that we've asked for help from the community, be it in fundraising or other things, the community has stepped right up to the plate and has given us the support that we need to be successful.
I think as far as overall outright development of the park, I think we're about as complete as we can get. I think there's some infrastructure that needs to be updated, lighting, and we're involved right now trying to get our roads repaired and back up to snuff. But as far as facilities, recreational type facilities, not really. I think we're I think we're about as good as we're going to get.
I just think that we're really fortunate to have Tautphaus Park, and somebody had such good foresight to keep it.
As we sit here and take a look back and reflect the 75 years, I mean, how far we've come. I would hope that Mr. Tautphaus and the Tautphaus family would come and take a look at what we've been able to retain, some of the historical sites, and I would hope that they would be favorable in what we've done with the properties. And I think people that come and go, into the community need to realize that that historical perspective is real important to keep intact. It's not so much having everything new all the time, but I think that's one thing that I would want to say through my tenure with the city is hopefully we've been a good steward of the property.